guys, welcome back to Rocket Gyan, my fellow space tubers, and today I am really very excited to see another milestone in rocket industry. And well, I just can't control my excitement today because today, as the name suggests, for the title, and it's very well known now that today Rocket Lab will be finally attempting the mid-air helicopter catch of the Electron booster. How cool is that? Catching something mid-air through an helicopter is it just it itself is an insane idea, and doing it in real life, of an orbital class rocket is just insane. So we'll talk about everything about this launch, so you just don't need to worry. And I need to say one thing that yesterday many people came to this live stream, but obviously it wasn't scheduled yesterday. What happened was, I did schedule. There has been like two reschedule of this live stream, right? So I did schedule it after one day, but means after 2 days. I thought I scheduled it after 2 days, but I did after one day, so sorry for that. But anyways, we are here live, and welcome back to this live stream. Welcome, hi Wildflower and Moonman 4, thank you so much for upgrading to scientist membership, really appreciate it, man. Hi Mark, hi Louis Smith, as you always. Hi Audit Amplifier. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I haven't made Audit Amplifier my mod, so thanks for clarifying. Fine, so let's just jump into it. I know you all are excited, so let's just jump into it and understand, and in the meanwhile we'll talk about things as they go along. So Rocket Lab, we have known, the company is known, so let's just do a quick recap so that people are on the same page. So here we have the Rocket Lab. This is a small sat launcher. They recently have just constructed their 2 launch pads and have launched from them successfully. Their first rocket is the Electron rocket, which is quite insane, because it's a small cute rocket, all black and small cute rocket, and does wonders in space. This large launch is coming up, Neutron, which itself is a very insane thing. But we'll talk about that in another live stream. So let's just jump into the Electron first of all. So this is the Electron and rocket, and it's quite different from what we have seen till now. I guess I am visible. Yeah, this is visible and everything is working fine, right? Hi everyone. So yeah, this one is quite different from the normal ones. We have seen the Electron to be fully black in its wearing that black color in full proud mode and whatnot, but this time it's not full black, and this time we have some silverish thing on it, the first stage, and obviously red thing, which signifies that it will be a recovery program, recovered rocket. I mean, they'll be attempting recovery on it. So talking about this Electron recovery, they have this recovery thing going on from quite a long time now, almost 2 years. They did it in 2 phases. Now it's the second stage phase which is starting. First stage was the collecting the first stage booster itself after the ocean splashdown. Okay, so they didn't attempt the helicopter catch there, so they just needed to understand how the booster performed, get some data, do the modifications, fly again and again until it is perfected. And today is the day which they think they have perfected it. And this is quite, this view is quite, this image is basically of what Electron looked like a few hours ago, and this is in their factory. And so let me just talk you about this silverish tint on the rocket. So this silverish tint is nothing but thermal shield on the rocket. So this will protect. This is quite a cool looking thing, and but it's also has its functionality to it. It's a heat shield, and it will protect the first stage when it enters the atmosphere, and it will be burning hot. I mean, really hot, 2400 degrees Celsius, and then attempting it mid-air. So let's just have a look at the rocket itself. Okay. Yes, yeah. So hey, Flying the Bug, welcome to the stream. So yeah, this is the rocket which you can see in front of you. This is a two-stage rocket. Here you can see it's a two-stage rocket. The first stage is powered by 9 Rutherford engines, and I have said it a million times in the stream, but I'll say it again. This 9 Rutherford engines are powered by this 9 Rutherford engines are powered by electric pump fed cycle, which means they use battery instead of any they use battery motors instead of any actual pumps going on in there to rotate the turbo pumps, basically not mechanical thing but just actual motor going on there, which is operated by battery. Same is the case for the second stage is powered by 1 Rutherford engine, which is a vacuum optimized, which can be identified by its quite a big nozzle. And yeah, the two stages uses RP1 and LOX as its fuel. And yeah, it's a quite generic kind of a rocket, because we have seen this combination in the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket also. So nothing much to talk about, but yeah, this rocket today has that heat shield which you need to note today. And yeah, so now moving on to the things which we need to know about the payloads. So payloads, talking about the payloads, there are like 34 payloads going into space today in this one. And yes, it's a small set launcher, only 300 kilograms is the payload capacity, and in that also there are 34 payloads going to space, which is itself a record for Rocket Lab. They haven't attempted this much launch in this much satellite launches in one go. So it would be interesting, but there are many. But one thing which I found very interesting, which I would like to really you should know about, that is this one, the plasma brake module from Aurora Propulsion Technologies. This one I found it very interesting. This is how it looks like. It has a one unit, plasma unit, and a long tether. So the function of this, as the name suggests, plasma brake module, literally it will be using nothing, means there is no as such propulsion on it, but this will be using a very intuitive and exciting and interesting technology, according to me, to brake the satellite so that it can deorbit after its life is ended. No propulsion, I am again telling you, no propulsion is being used in this thing. So that's why it's very interesting. And let me just tell you how this thing works. So if you know about something called cyclotron, which is if you have read it in your high school physics, this is nothing but a charge particle accelerator, right? So we have some charges, plasma, and how this works I'll tell you. So we have some charges in cyclotron, and that is accelerated. Yeah, so that's how it works. So if a charge can be accelerated, it can be decelerated. The same, because the electrical forces are there, right? So here it uses that approach. Rather than accelerating something, it's try to decelerate. And how does it work? It uses the plasma brake, uses the Coulomb drag to interact with the upper atmosphere plasma, right? Slowing down a spacecraft. As the spacecraft slows down, its orbit start to shrink, which we know. As the spacecraft come closer to the ground, it will start to deorbit naturally. So how basically what actually happens is, since we have electrical forces, right, and this one operates not in low Earth orbit exactly, but in orbits which have like 1000 kilometers or 1500 kilometers, which has a good amount of ions in it. Basically electrically charged particles in it. We know, right, we have certain belts around the Earth which are very highly electrically active. So if a satellite is kind of placed in that, then it can use these tethers, which is here in this, which can be fitted with the 100 to 5 kilometer long tether. These multiple plasma brake modules can be fitted into a satellite for a quick deorbiting. PBM can be fitted with a specialized solar panels. So the thing is that these tethers are used to have some interact with the charges present in the in that orbit and slow itself down. So we have attractive forces of electricity, and obviously if unlike charges attract, then like charges repel. So it uses that concepts to repel the spacecraft so that it can slow itself down. The term they have used is a Coulomb drag, which is nothing but a drag caused by electrical forces, which is very interesting. So they will be using that, and that's how it will orbit a satellite. No propulsion, nothing as such. Water propulsion, we have seen water propulsion, we have seen ion propulsion, we have seen so many things, a solar sail also, right, to deorbit one. But this is a very, very interesting because it actually operates in a higher atmospheric orbit, so that and in that like 1000 kilometer and 1500 kilometer, we don't have atmosphere, so we need something there also to break those satellites so that it comes down naturally to a higher drag orbit, and then can naturally create the deorbit basically. So this was a very interesting things. And yes, as you know, I'm a sciencey guy, so one thing which is very much related to science was this one, so I talked about it a lot. So yeah, here we have so if you have any questions, you can ask me. So let's just move on to the next thing now. As we all are here for recovery, right? So this one was a standout payload for me, so that's why I discussed. Now let's just jump into the recovery program, right? We all are here for that. So this is the hero of today. Yeah, I mean, the showstopper is obviously our Electron booster, but here this is our hero, or you can say the savior of the day. They are using this helicopter, which you can see in front of you. This is a custom helicopter, and the customized Sikorsky S-92 helicopter. If you are a helicopter or aviation guy, you must be knowing about this. This is a large twin engine helicopter which is mainly used for search and rescue operation, but will be using they will be using this helicopter for today. The characteristics of this helicopter is like it has a range of 950 kilometer, top speed 306 kilometer an hour, and weight around 7 tons. Maximum takeoff weight it can carry is around 12.8, and it has 2 turboshaft engines. This is the main savior of the day. I hope it can capture I we don't have a certain name for this helicopter. Once they will get this helicopter will also get a certain name for it once everything is finalized. So yeah, waiting for that. So this is one was the helicopter. Now let's move on to the recovery profile, how the recovery will actually happen, right? So as the name says, plucked from the skies, literally they will be plucking the booster from the sky. So what will happen? So first of all, a normal liftoff, normal stage separation, MECO here, it will happen, stage separation, and obviously the second stage will go off and deliver the primary payload. What happens for the second stage? Second stage, first of all, approximately an hour prior to liftoff, Rocket Lab's helicopter, which I just showed you, will move into the position in the capture zone approximately 150 miles of New Zealand coast to await the launch. So it happens 1 hour before the launch, and obviously now it's already stationed there. At about 2.5 minutes after liftoff, the first stage and second stage separate. Standard mission profile: Electron second stage will continue on its orbit, and the Electron first stage will begin its descent back to the Earth. So here what will do, it will do is obviously it will first of all reorient itself in space using this reaction control thruster, so that it can be facing engine down first. During the re-entry, it will reach the speed of 8,000 km per hour or 5.1 miles an hour, 5,150 miles an hour. And the stage will reach a peak temperature of around 2,400 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that will happen. So after that, once it has reached a certain altitude, which is 13 kilometer, it will deploy its drogue chute. is necessary to slow the vehicle or the something which is coming off from the space down, because drogue chutes are not very much effective at actually creating a drag, but they are very much effective in withstanding those high g forces, so that it does not tear apart. So drogue chute is necessary there. Once we have a stable speed at around 6 kilometers, they will deploy the main parachute, which is actually not a parafoil kind of a thing, but actual this one round parachute. I don't know the actual name of it, but initially they went with parafoil because that was the, you want your helicopter, your stage to glide. Parafoil is useful for gliding. This one does not glide, but they found out that this one is performing much better and is not so much heavier than the parafoil. So yeah, they went with this one. Once it is in there, the main parachutes have been deployed, it will slow the stage to 10 meters per second, which is very very much slower. About 8 minutes and 12 seconds after liftoff that will happen. As the stage enters the capture zone, now the role of the helicopter will come. The helicopter will rendezvous with the first stage coming in from the space. Try to have, you can see there is a hook kind of a thing, so there will be a hook on it. Try to catch it using it, and once it catches, as the stage enters the capture zone, Rocket Lab's helicopter will attempt to rendezvous and capture the parachute via hook, which I just told you. Once the stage is captured and secured, the helicopter will attempt to offload the stage onto the Rocket Lab's recovery vessel for transport it to the land. Recovery vessel is nothing but a ship there, so which they have used previously also while splashdown. So those are the things. This is how the profile looks like for plucking out of the sky. So this is how it generally looks like. Now moving on to the other thing. So whatever I just told you, they have actually tried it using a mock booster. So here how it looks like. So let's just have a look at it. I think you're not able to hear. Wait a sec. Yeah, weight adjusted round canopy shoot. Yeah, that's the name there. Weight round canopy shoot. So yeah, that's the thing. I hope. Hello. Yeah. Can you hear? I can't hear because. Can you hear the sound? Can't. Maybe there's no sound in there. Yes, no. Okay, so let's just I'll explain you the thing. No worries. So here you can see this is their helicopter. They attempted this recovery, and this is their helicopter, customized one used for research and rescue and recovery. So that's that. They have attempted this recovery. So main thing is, when this is parachuting down, there is certain a small parachute or what you call it. I don't know the exact term, the balut or what. I just don't know the exact term, but you can see there's something, a thing which is actually in horizontal direction here, flying in a horizontal direction. That is a rope, and it's a hook. So here you can see, once it is caught with the hook, it will close the parachute. Here you can see, and once it is closed, the helicopter has actually caught this one, and then it will take it back to the rescue ship. So this is how it will look like. Actually, Peter Beck has actually told us, and they have basically he has told us that main thing which was very much difficult was surviving the electron booster through the re-entry phase. This catching in mid-air is very easy according to him. It's very easy. The hard part was to make sure the electron booster is safe and sound there. Yeah, that's that. So now let's move on to the thing which we are here for, which is the mission. So this is the mission. They will be going to 520 kilometers unsynchronous orbit. 34 sats are there, and if they don't launch today, they have a daily launch opportunity around this time. So yeah, that's one thing. It's a rideshare mission. 34 payloads. I haven't seen they launching so many payloads in one go, so that's that. Talking about the payloads, we have 4 pico satellites from Alba Orbitals, which a cluster of 4 pico satellite. Pico satellites are nothing but 5 into 5 into 5 centimeter. Those are the dimensions, and they don't weigh more than 250 grams. So yeah, satellites are really shrinking. Then we have the Aurora set, which we have I have already talked to you about. The plasma brakes and other propulsion devices. Then we have the Astrix, the payload Scopia. They will be testing the solar arrays, which means the electrical system. And then we have 3 satellites from eSpace, which will again be a demonstration satellite to validate the system technology and sustainable. Spaceflight picosats from Spaceflight, which 2 stacks of pico satellite for Internet of IoT satellite constellation. Then we have Unseenlabs 6th satellite, Bro 6 is the 6th satellite for Unseenlabs. So these are the payloads going in for today's launch. And yes, the Sikorsky S92, we have already talked about the range, the top speed. This is how the characteristic of this helicopter, quite a heavy duty one, I must say that. So yeah, you need such certain kind of, these heavy duty rugged helicopters which can just do whatever the task has been assigned to it. Yeah. So as I said, there was like 2 phases. First was the splashdown, and that they first considered this parafoil design of parachute, but then they changed over to the canopy style. First, they in 2020 they have demonstrated this mid-air recovery using a demo booster which was dropped from another helicopter. So that was that. So yeah, we have talked about the mission profile here, and this is, if you are living in New Zealand, you can go on and view this one from here, from the Bluckspit Road LC1 launch viewing area, and you should have a good look for the rocket launch, not the recovery one. So yeah. Talking about the mission profile, we have talked about the recovery profile, but the mission profile is quite standard. The stage 2 will separate, the fairing will separate, and then the orbit, once orbit is reached, the kick stage will separate. Kick stage has those 34 satellites in there. So yeah, so it's quite a long mission, which you can see here, around 1 hour long. We have already talked about the Electron rocket launch rocket, which we can see, and yeah, that is pretty much about it. And let me just show you this one, the mission profile, how it will actually look like. And okay, so now the sound is coming. Just a second, guys. I think they are actually live but not live, so I don't worry about it. I'll switch over to that once we have certain things. So just enjoy this video for now, which actually demonstrate their whole profile. So yeah. Liftoff, the max Q once, and the helicopter, obviously. In space, the MECO will happen. Phase separation, the second engine will start. And this is the plasma phase, which he talked about was like very difficult to master. So this one actually he termed this phase was like a plasma knife trying to cut the rocket apart, and by a plasma knife he meant a 2400 degrees Celsius heated knife is trying to cut off the rocket. Since this is not a steel rocket, this is a carbon fiber rocket, and carbon fiber is not so much thermally stable. So they needed something, and that's why they are using the heat shield also today, the shiny thing. Once the electron is out of this phase, you can see will reach terminal velocity. The drogue chute will deploy first of all, then the main parachute. So this is an old video, so you can see they are using the parafoil here. The parafoil actually makes much more sense because it's a gliding parachute, so it's trying to it will stay at that altitude for a longer period of time. At a certain altitude it will basically maintain that altitude, right, rather than just going down. The canopy one, which they will be using actually today, does not do that. It does not glide, so it will drop, will constantly drop its altitude. So but they managed to do this because obviously it was an easier thing to do and had some weight saved there. So yeah, you can see this is a hook and this is a drogue chute. So this is a line of the hook which you can see here, and this is a drogue chute, and now once it captures, we'll just close the parachute, and then you are off to go to the recovery ship and offload there. So it will be very much interesting. I'm so much excited for this mission, I just can't tell you. So yes, and we are live. And guys, if you are just tuning in, let me just tell you, on this channel we do live stream of the rocket launches and try to demonstrate all the things which I just gave you the information. So in all the launches, just come in here on this channel and you will get everything you need to know about that launch. So one stop for all the launches, literally all, and other scientific events too. Actually, I have made a video also regarding why SpaceX does not use parachute. That is also very much interesting, right? So now they are live. I'll switch over to that.
At a live view of the rocket ready on the pad at Rocket Lab Launch Complex 1 on New Zealand's east coast, from where we will fly 34 spacecraft to space for a range of customers on board this rideshare mission. It is the 3rd of May here in New Zealand, and we are about 20 minutes away from the opening of today's 2-hour launch window, with T0 set for 10:41 a.m. local time. My name is Muriel Baker, and I'm here at Rocket Lab's Mission Control Centre in Auckland, New Zealand, to take you through the launch and our incredibly exciting secondary mission to catch a returning rocket booster from space with a helicopter. Today's launch will be the first time we try to bring back Electron's booster underneath a helicopter. It's all part of our plan to make Electron the world's first reusable orbital class small rocket, and this mission is the most advanced milestone in the program yet. We have live footage coming into mission control from the helicopter for today's catch, which we will bring to you throughout this broadcast as we have it, and you can see it on your screen there. Keep in mind though that considering how far out to sea the helicopter will be, the video feed could be patchy and inconsistent, so bear with us and we'll bring you what we can. From about T+8 minutes into the mission, we'll cross to the view from the helicopter as they attempt the catch. And regardless of whether we get those live shots, we will bring you updates throughout this broadcast on those operations as soon as we have them. It goes without saying though that catching a rocket mid-air with a helicopter is unconventional, and multiple factors need to align perfectly for today's first attempt to be a success. When it comes to R&D, we aim for the best, but we also plan for the worst, and our backup option today is our recovery vessel, stationed at sea near the recovery zone and ready on standby to fish the booster from the ocean like on previous recovery missions if we needed to. Regardless of the outcome of today's recovery attempt, we will gather plenty of invaluable data to inform future attempts. We have recovered Electron's booster this way 3 times before on previous missions, where we used a parachute to slow Electron's first stage before landing it softly in the ocean to be retrieved by our recovery engineers from the vessel.
So yes, talking about the one of you asked the entry burn question. So no, it will not do any entry burn on this mission because it will have a certain weight limitation. This is small sat launcher. Remember that it does not have enough fuel to lift off basically does not have even enough fuel to do an entry burn. So no, there is no entry burn. It will directly come down to come to the atmosphere for the re-entry.
On recovery, but we have also stacked Electron's payload plate with the most number of satellites we have manifested for a single mission. There and back again will carry 34 satellites to a 520-kilometre circular Earth orbit, with payloads expected to begin deploying from Electron's kick stage at approximately T plus 53 minutes after liftoff. The first satellites to separate will be the 3 on board from eSpace, in a demonstration of its technologies for its future sustainable satellite system. The satellites have small cross-sections designed to decrease the risk of collisions with untrackable space objects and can automatically deorbit if any system malfunctions occur. Next will be the first of 2 stacks of Space Bees for Internet of Things Constellation Operator Swarm. Then we'll have the deployment of the Bro-6 satellite by Unseenlabs, a French company developing a constellation of satellites that detect radio frequency signals in marine monitoring. Today's mission is the 3rd launch Rocket Lab has provided for Unseenlabs to expand this constellation. And then after Unseenlabs will come the Aurora Sat-1, also known as the Flying Object from Aurora Propulsion Technologies.
And I just told you the amazing plasma break which they are flying.
Enable the sustainable use of space. Next will be the 4 Pico satellites from Alba Orbital. This cluster of tiny spacecraft includes Alba's Unicorn 2 Pocket Cube satellite, which carries
this
an
view
optical
just reminds me of Starship.
To monitor light pollution across the globe. The other satellites are the TRSI-2, the TRSI-3, and a My Radar 1. Each of these small satellites carry a unique sensor designed to demonstrate innovative technologies on orbit. And then last but not least on the manifest is Copia from Astrix Astronautics, a technology demonstration that will remain attached to the kick stage as it tests its deployment system designed to improve on power restraints typically seen in small satellites.
Hi Max Ugly, thank you so much for the sub. And yes, if you are just
deeper though into today's recovery mission and how our operations will take place. This mission is the ultimate recovery test. While the team has simulated a mid-air recovery in the past, as I mentioned before, this is our first attempt at the real thing. The helicopter we'll use in today's operations is a Sikorsky S-92 helicopter, specifically modified with an auxiliary tank to allow for extra fuel to complete today's offshore mission. For anyone unfamiliar with this vehicle, it is a massive machine, roughly the size of a bus. Normally used in search and rescue operations or to ferry large groups of people, the S-92's size and the power of its twin engines are being utilised today to manage the approximately 1-ton weight of Electron's booster.
And there you go.
The helicopter's capture zone is about 150 nautical miles off New Zealand's coast. The helicopter will wait in this area a safe distance from where Electron is expected to return before it attempts the catch. To do this, the S-92 is equipped with a long line with a capture hook that will be used to snag in Electron's parachute cable as it slowly descends over the ocean. To practice our rocket catching skills, we've carried out many mid-air capture tests prior to this mission. These were conducted by dropping an Electron first stage test article from a second helicopter, deploying the stage's parachute, and then using the S-92 to catch the stage as it descends. And I'm going to take you through a quick rundown also through the recovery process once today's mission leaves the pad. At about 2.5 minutes after liftoff, Electron's first and second stages will separate like normal. Electron's second stage will continue on to orbit for payload deployment, while Electron's first stage will reorient itself and begin its descent back to Earth. It does this with tiny thrusters on the main body to tilt the first stage on the correct angle to slice through the atmosphere on the way back down. After deploying a drogue parachute at 13 kilometers or 8.3 miles altitude, the main parachute will be extracted at around 6 kilometers or 3.7 miles above Earth. This double deployment of chutes will help to dramatically slow the stage to a speed of just 36 kilometers or 22.3 miles per hour. This is expected to take place from about 8 minutes and 12 seconds in the mission. As the stage enters the capture zone, our helicopter will swoop in and rendezvous with the returning stage and capture it by its parachute line. And so, as we approach the T-minus 12-minute mark in this count to our launch, our operators on console will be run through the go, no-go poll by this mission's launch director, Joseph Carpico. This is the final assessment on whether all of Electron's systems are go for launch, and our operators are happy to proceed. Let's listen in to Mission Control and check in on how we are tracking for launch.
Yes, SP, it's 4 a.m. here, and I am pretty much excited. I am so excited for this that I haven't, I don't feel like sleeping. I remember the Starship launch also happened like 5 a.m. here, and I was up there trying to just see it. And yes, today is the day. Finally, one more milestone will be achieved in the rocket industry, that literally they will be plucking a rocket out of the sky using a helicopter. So it will be very much interesting. So if you have just joined in, guys, on this channel we do live streams of the launches, different launches, and do that much needed detailed analysis of the rocket launch. So yeah,
Copy
okay,
that.
we are holding. So we don't know the reason for that. I'll tell you the launch window since we are holding. So once we have a hold, I'll tell you. Or maybe there's just a hold in the launch pole. It's not a hold in the launch time. We do have a launch window. Okay, we do have a launch.
Stand by for an update here shortly.
Okay, so we do have a hold here. Talking about the launch window is of 2 hours and 5
So it
minutes.
sounds like we've got a hold in that go, no-go poll from our launch
12.
director. So we're going to stand by, listen in for more information from Mission Control, and wait for an update.
There you go. Hold. We don't know the reason for it. Might be weather, might be something, but we are on a hold here, T-minus 12. So yes, this view, first of all, let's just talk about this view which we are seeing. It reminds me of Starship. When it launches, it always has this cloud covering and this certain venting coming out of the rockets.
On mission. Please continue to monitor your critical systems and be prepared for a go-no-go on restarting of the count.
Okay. Let me just try to dig in some updates for you guys. This one reminds me of Starship and the Starship launch. And I'm pretty much hopeful that they will pull out on the first go. But again, I'm telling you, this is the rocket industry, and everything is hard in rockets. So if anything fails, so don't be disheartened and surprised, because it's a normal day in rocket industry, as they say. So yes, so I was saying that on this channel we do live streams of the launches, not only this one, different launches, and this is a one-stop solution for everything you need to know about a certain launch. So you just hop in here. We all are rocket nerds in here. Not exactly rocket nerds, but yeah, certain type of rocket nerds which do like some science behind the things, but also do enjoy the views and images and the photos and the videos and whatnot, just living the moment the launch happens. You will see that. If you are one of those, please do subscribe this channel. It would really help me. And do and consider becoming a member.
Those of you
if
just
you
joining
can.
us, a quick note to let you know that we are in a hold at T-minus 12 minutes to launch. We're standing by for an update from Mission Control, and as soon as we have that, we'll share that with you here.
Multiple onboard cameras, yeah, that is one thing which we all are waiting for. See, since this is their first attempt, right? And although they must have done all their preparations for the live stream so that it does not cut out or mess up, but you know, first attempt, everything is everyone is nervous and they might just something just happens, was the first time it is they are doing. So don't be disheartened if you don't get those perfect views. So yeah, let's see what is in store for us. But I do trust Rocket Lab that they will provide us with some good onboard camera views as well as the helicopter shots which we just saw. So helicopter is there right now, stationed in the recovery zone, was waiting for the Rocket Lab's Electron to reach there, obviously, and it must be waiting on the recovery vessel. They haven't named yet. The helicopter and recovery vessel needs to be named. So yeah, we'll see what do they come up with. But right now we are at hold. Don't know the reason. We'll see. See, it's coming in from the launch director. Okay, so could be weather, could be a technical flaw, but maybe just maybe. So yeah. So if you guys are just joining in, let me just tell you about the things which you will be seeing on this mission. So first of all, the payloads. The number of payloads are 34, and yes, so the standout payload for me is the plasma break, which is quite interesting and literally playing. It's a certain payload which is literally playing with its surrounding for its own benefit. So plasma brake module, as the name suggests, is a brake module which can be installed on a satellite or a CubeSat. It's a very lightweight and a short, small sized module. It can be even attached to the CubeSat, and it is useful on those altitudes around 1,500 kilometers, where there we don't have actual atmospheric drag, but some good electrical charges. So at those altitudes, what it does is, since we know like charges attract and like charges repel and unlike charges attract, it uses certain that kind of formula. And this is a live
Everyone,
shot
just
from
an
the
update
helicopter.
for those of you who have joined us again, that we are in a hold at T-minus 12 minutes while we wait for an update from our launch director on whether we'll proceed through to T0. But on your screen, you've got those live views coming in from the recovery helicopter out over the Pacific Ocean. Our hold should not have an effect on these recovery procedures, so no worries there. But we'll come back to you with an update as soon as we hear more from our launch director.
It definitely seems like it's above the clouds. That's for sure. So the views, the live stream is pretty consistent in here, going in at quite a good feed. So that's a good thing. So yeah, as I was saying, the plasma brake module, man, that's a very interesting one. So since at 1,000 kilometers, 1,500 kilometers, we don't have much atmospheric drag. So how do you deorbit a satellite after it's out of fuel or it has been decommissioned? So to enable that, they have come up with this plasma brake module. What it does is it has these two tethers which interact with the surrounding electrical particles, electrical charges, and uses those charges for the advantage, so that those charges can repel the spacecraft, and it can just shrink the orbit rather than doing anything. So it is literally just using electrical charge to charge those tethers. I don't exactly know how those.
Mission. I've resumed the count. We are now at 13 minutes 26 seconds and counting. The new T0 time is 224952 UTC or 104952 New Zealand Standard Time.
Okay, so we have resumed the count. So that's great. No worries on that. So yeah, as I was saying, those tethers are used to generate. Basically, it works on the principle of Coulomb drag. It kind of produces drag using electrical forces.
So there we go. That was good news from our launch director. The count has resumed towards our launch today from LC1 of There and Back Again. We have a new T0 time. It's 10:49 a.m.
I can confirm I am actively monitoring mission cord, LV cord, range cord, and safety net.
Just to finish up there, I just want to confirm
All
that we have a
operators,
new...
please be prepared for a go, no-go poll at T-minus 12 minutes.
Okay, so we have a new T0 time at 10:49 a.m. New Zealand local time, or 22:49 UTC. And as you heard from our launch director there, we are about 18 seconds away from the go, no-go poll for this mission. So we'll wait here with mission control comms and listen in to what our operators have to confirm.
All operators, this is the LD on mission with a go, no-go sequence poll. Stage,
Stages go.
avionics,
Avionics is go.
GNC,
GNC's go.
VCON,
VCON is go.
T1,
T1 is go.
GC,
GC is go.
PLF,
PLS is go.
RSO,
RSO is go.
MET,
Met is go.
MM,
MM is go.
LD sub.
LD sub go.
All operators, this is the LD on mission. Go, no go sequence is complete. We are T-minus 11 minutes, 24 seconds and counting. We are go for terminal count at T-minus 10 minutes. From this time, the 3-word hold procedure is in effect.
And we have a confirmation, guys. We are moving in with the countdown, and that's a very great news, especially for me. I don't know about you. T-minus 10 minutes, 11 minutes basically, and counting. Just adjust the timer here.
So there you have it. We are back on track because that is confirmation from Mission Control that the systems are healthy, and we will be proceeding with the remainder of the count. The T0 liftoff time is a new time of 10:49 a.m. New Zealand local time, or 22:49 UTC. So liftoff time for our Eastern time zone viewers is 18:49, and for our Pacific viewers it is 15:49. Today is Electron's time to shine, but recently we also celebrated a major step forward in our program for Neutron, our much bigger new rocket. We have broken ground at the location of our new Neutron production complex and launch pad in Wallops Island, Virginia. It's here we are planning to create more than 200 new jobs to support Neutron's development and its launch capability from the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport. Neutron is our new launch vehicle designed to lift 13 tons of payload and to provide a tailored launch solution for satellite mega constellations. Neutron will take Rocket Lab reusability another step into the future as a fully reusable rocket designed to land back on the launch pad after a mission and from there be returned to the nearby production complex for refurbishment and reflight. With construction underway and Neutron's development really ramping up, there are many exciting opportunities to join the team. You can check these out for yourself on the careers page of our website at rocketlabusa.com.
Okay, T-minus 9 minutes and 22 seconds. Things are looking great, and we have been given a go for the launch, and I am so excited right now. Just can't tell you my excitement. I'm telling you. Can't tell you how excited I am right now. Okay, we are under 10 minutes. How fast
Avionics,
the time
LD
goes.
on mission.
LD avionics.
Yes, sir. Please proceed with sequence 56, avionics terminal checks.
Proceeding with sequence 56, avionics terminal checks.
Okay, if you notice this rocket, this is not a usual Electron rocket. This
Today
is a
we're
different
lifting
one.
off from Pad A at Launch Complex 1, but right next door is Pad B, where we will be hosting a very exciting mission next month. Flying in May from Launch Complex 1, we are taking the step before the leap with the launch of the Capstone mission to the Moon to support NASA's intent to return humans to the lunar surface. With our Electron rocket and our Photon spacecraft, our role is to deliver the Capstone small satellite owned and operated by Advanced Space to a particular orbit of the Moon, where NASA is planning for Gateway, a future small space station to provide astronauts with access to the Moon. There, Capstone will test and verify the orbital stability of that location, as well as test whether communication with NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter can gauge positioning, potentially allowing future spacecraft to determine their location relative to the Moon without having to rely on tracking from Earth. Here's more about the mission and how we'll deliver it to the Moon with Electron and Photon.
Okay, so they're looking great, and this photon. Okay,
Supporting NASA's
just
mission
see
to
for
return
yourself.
humans to the moon. Launching on Electron this year, NASA's Capstone cislunar satellite will orbit the moon, serving as a pathfinder for Gateway, a moon orbiting outpost that is part of NASA's Artemis program to return humans to the lunar surface. Capstone's mission is to refine our knowledge of the dynamics of a unique halo-shaped orbit, paving the way for people to follow. The Near Rectilinear Halo Orbit, or NRHO, has an unobstructed view of Earth at all times, and also enables communications coverage of the lunar South Pole, the destination of NASA Artemis astronauts. Most Rocket Lab missions to date have deployed spacecraft to an orbit around 500 kilometers above Earth. But this mission will see us go a little bit further than usual, some 384,000 kilometers further. To get there, Electron will launch Capstone to an initial low Earth orbit. From there, Rocket Lab's Photon spacecraft takes over, providing in-space propulsion to conduct a series of orbit-raising maneuvers. This builds up enough velocity to perform a translunar injection, allowing Capstone to break free of Earth's gravity and set a course for the moon. Capstone will use its own propulsion system to enter a cislunar orbit. Traditionally, smallsats have had to wait years for a rideshare opportunity on a large rocket in order to reach lunar and deep space destinations. With Rocket Lab, the smallsats call the shots, getting a dedicated ride to exactly where they want to go and on their schedule.
So that's pretty much interesting, which will be happening this year only. So this is a moving year for Rocket Lab.
The exciting mission supported by the hundreds of team members in the Rocket Lab family at locations across the world. Right now, the team are preparing the Electron rocket for that mission, running through the final tests and checks of Photon, confirming the phasing orbit mission trajectories, readying the launch pad and spacecraft integration facilities, and preparing systems for the mission. We're proud to be working alongside NASA, Advanced Space, and Terran Orbital to deliver this historic mission and play our part in humanity's return to the moon. But turning our attention back to the pad at LC1 now, and we can see that Electron's top clamp has opened and the strong back has moved away from the launch vehicle. This is a good visual indication that the mission is on track for liftoff, retracting the strong back out of the way for Electron to power off the pad at T0. And a look at the countdown clock, and we can see that we are just minutes away now from the final operational procedures before launch. Very exciting. We remain go for launch with greens across the board for the launch vehicle, payloads, the weather, and our recovery team.
So here it is, guys. We are under 5 minutes. Things are looking great. And talking about other things up there, but other helicopter, if there is any other helicopter. I don't think so.
Electron will move to the countdown auto sequence, which is when the flight computers on the rocket take over the launch countdown from manual control. At T-minus 1 minute 30 seconds, we should hear the call that LOX loading is complete on Electron, telling us that the vehicle is fully fueled for launch. At T-minus 1 minute, the call will come from mission control that Electron's first and second stages are pressurized for launch and the vehicle is ready. Then we'll move to the final countdown to liftoff at T-minus 10 seconds and engine ignition shortly before liftoff at T0. Let's go to mission control comms now and listen in to our launch director take us through the final count.
So yeah, I was saying I don't expect a second helicopter, but it would be great if they have one. But you can surely expect some shots from the recovery vessel. So
pad is ready for launch.
Copy.
that is that. So yeah, I'm so excited. T-minus 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Things are looking great. I'm so excited. We'll literally see something going to space, coming down and seeing that in front of us being caught using the helicopter is itself a very great achievement. So yes, one more thing which I was saying that this Electron looks a bit different. It has a shiny coating on the first stage, which is actually necessary because that shiny thing is nothing but heat shield.
There should be no red flags on your critical LCCs.
So yes, that is
VCON,
that.
LD on mission.
LD VCON.
Confirm all expected flight computer as goes are green.
Confirm green.
VCON, lock auto sequence and confirm.
Confirmed, Doctor.
All operators, we are
Okay.
go for auto sequence start at T-minus 2 minutes. LT is go for launch.
There you have it. LD is go for the launch. Things are looking great. And T-minus 2 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. I just can't tell you. I can't hold my excitement right now. Finally, we'll be seeing something flowing into space and then being caught in the mid-air using an helicopter, and we'll get some live views out of it. How cool will be that? Okay. We are under 2 minutes.
Switch to internal power.
So
Vehicle is fully on
switched
internal power.
to internal power, which means
AFTs to the screen and enabled for flight.
no power from the ground. The launch itself is very cool, obviously.
Locks load complete.
T
Lock system in
minus
recirculation.
T-minus 90 seconds. Okay, this is happening. Okay, this is happening. Welcome all, guys. Just hang in there for a few minutes. Now, T-minus 60 seconds, guys. Finally. Okay. I'm getting really excited.
All anti-gas disabled.
Stage 1 and Stage 2 are pressed for flight.
High flow engine purge is enabled.
Okay. 40. T-minus 30 seconds,
Deluge is
guys.
activated.
We now have
T-minus 20
T-minus
seconds to count.
20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ignition. And
And we have
liftoff. Yo. It goes. Here it goes. Dude. That is amazing. Cute little rocket to the sky. Not to the skies, but to the space. Zoom,
Stage
zoom.
propulsion is nominal.
T plus 31 seconds into the mission, and Electron is airborne after our 26th launch from LC1. We have a great view of that Electron leaving the pad as Electron powers its way to space. We are now at 4 kilometers in altitude, and very soon Electron will reach max Q. This is what's known as the point in the mission when the aerodynamic forces against the rocket are at their peak and cause the most amount of stress Electron will experience on its ascent. The call that we've cleared max Q should come from mission control shortly.
So you can see it's kind of pitching down now. So obviously it has to do that to attain an orbit.
Vehicle has cleared max Q.
And it has cleared max Q. That is a great sign. Vehicle is structurally stable.
Having cleared max Q, Electron's trajectory remains on track and its propulsion is looking nominal as the mission continues to orbit. Soon we'll be coming up to the separation of the rocket stages that will signal the beginning of our Electron recovery attempt. First up will be MECO, or main engine cutoff, on Electron's first stage. This is when the rocket's 9 Rutherford engines on its first stage power down, and then the rocket will drift for just a moment before the first and second stage separate. The second stage's engine should then start up and power the mission onto orbit, while Electron's booster begins its journey back toward the capture zone here on Earth. As it makes its way home, we'll stay with that live camera feed for as long as we can. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's wait for the call out of those first 3 events.
That land looks really unreal, but it's actually real. So views are great for
15
this
seconds
launch.
to MECO.
MECO coming up. Loom has expanded, obviously 50 kilometers up. Staging is about to happen. And we
confirmed.
have Miko.
Stage separation successful.
Stage separation successful, and we have second stage.
Confirmed.
And you can see the first stage right now trying to orient itself. Wow.
And here we go. It is happening. Electron has successfully completed MECO, stage separation, and second stage engine start. Our Electron recovery attempt is now officially in motion, and we are off to a fantastic start with this mission. As the mission continues for our customers, the fairing protecting their satellites will soon separate and fall away in preparation of payload deployment. We'll wait to see that on our screens.
There you go.
Oh, and there it goes. We had that visual and audio confirmation we were after of the fairing successfully deploying. A check of stage 2 speed and altitude tells us the mission is continuing nominally, currently at more than 125 kilometers above Earth and reaching speeds of more than 8,000 kilometers per hour. Onward to orbit.
Stage 2 propulsion is
Our Mother Earth is so phenomenal. See that beautiful Earth behind. I haven't seen any such beautiful rocket launch ever. Like those Earth views ever. Must say that. Since it's going to a sun-synchronous
When
orbit.
the boosters' engines shut down, the stage
It's well lit.
continued to coast to apogee. Now, during that coast, the reaction control thrusters on the stage will have moved Electron into position to better help it survive its hot and fast travel on the way back to Earth. Once we hear the call that the first stage has reached apogee, we know that what goes up must then come back down and head toward the capture zone where our recovery helicopter is waiting for it.
We can actually see here that effect, the planet shine effect here, which is very rare to see. And here in the live view of the rocket launch, we can see that planet shine coming into effect. That is great. Things are looking good. The next event for the second stage is the battery hot swap. First of all, the battery jettison and then the hot swap. Since I told you the turbo pumps are electric pump fed here, which means they are literally using the motors powered by batteries. So once their batteries are depleted, they are no longer needed, and you can just jettison them so that you can save on weight.
Electron second stage engine, as you heard there, is continuing nominally and firing hot as the mission continues to orbit. All payloads on the stage remain healthy and ready for release to their 520 kilometer circular orbit. The next milestones to watch out for will be the deployment of the first chute on the Electron booster and the swap of the batteries powering the Stage 2 Rutherford engine.
The first stage.
Both events should occur within seconds of each other and be confirmed across mission control comms, so we'll make sure to listen out for those. Meanwhile,
yes, that is the first
recovery
stage.
Helicopter is ready and waiting out over the Pacific Ocean for that drogue chute on the Stage 1 to deploy, knowing that will indicate the main chute deployment and helicopter catch attempt will be only minutes away.
So this will not do the entry burn because first of all, it does not have that enough basically fuel to spare to do a burn like that. So it will just straight go down
The telemetry Electron second stage continues on its journey
atmosphere.
to orbit at a speed of over 11,000 kilometers an hour and an altitude of more than 220 kilometers. Meanwhile, Electron's first stage is on the correct angle of attack to make its way through the wall, as you can see on your left there. Now, that wall is the roughest part of the atmosphere, but thanks to the RCS thrusters we mentioned earlier, the Stage 1 booster is on a very smooth descent. We are coming up to the next gate, though, for Electron's second stage to clear, the battery hot swap for its Rutherford engine. This engine is the world's first to use the electric pump feed cycle for orbital space travel. To keep the propellant pump system going all the way to orbit, we swap out the batteries as they are drained with a new set to keep the system running. We're likely to catch the glint of sunlight reflecting off the discarded battery packs as they fall away, so keep your eyes on your screen for that and your ears open for the call from Mission Control to confirm.
Yes, and it does not even go that high also. So it's a certain trajectory, but obviously they need to look out for that plasma knife, which as the Peter Beck quoted. So yes, they have done a good amount of heat shielding there, and that a silver tint on the rocket is the heat shield there. So yeah, that's that. Battery hot swap, battery jettison coming up, and there you go, battery jettisoned.
Hot swap successful.
Hot swap
Battery jettison
successful. Yes.
Deploy.
Rock chute has
Stage
been
two
deployed.
propulsion holding nominal.
Guys, get ready for some recovery shots.
Guidance is nominal.
Things are nominal on the second stage. Rock chute has been deployed.
Battery hot swap is confirmed, and so too, you heard it there, the deployment of the drogue chute on Electron's first stage. The second stage is continuing nominally on its mission for our customers. You can see it on your screen there. And for recovery, we are around 30 seconds or so away from the main parachute being released. This action should really slow down the booster's travel to a slow enough speed for our recovery helicopter to safely move in and attempt to capture it.
Okay. Main chute deployment coming up next. Right now it's vibrating a lot. We haven't seen that. Just a camera thingy, not the actual rocket thingy. But yeah. So first stage has re-entered the atmosphere. The drogue chutes have been deployed. Now at 8 kilometers, the main chute will deploy.
Good shoot.
And the main chute has been deployed. Yes. Now just wait for those shots of it catching.
Fantastic news there from Mission Control. We have just had confirmation that the main parachute on stage 1 was successfully deployed, and the S-92 helicopter can prepare to capture Electron. We'll be bringing you updates as soon as we have them, but very soon we are also expecting SECO on the final stage separation of the kick stage. We'll wait
you
for
can
those
see the
calls,
Electron
but
there.
stick with this view from the helicopter as long as we can.
You can see that Electron there, the tiny Electron. Dude, that is so cool. Yes, Ishan, that is so cool. And this is, I think, the views from the rocket, the first stage, and this is the second, the helicopter shot. And we could see those.
Detect.
Okay.
Guidance is in terminal, 27 seconds remaining.
Let's see how the catch would look like, but I could see the Electron
It's a bit
there.
longer of a second stage burn than normal to get us to our 520 kilometre SSO orbit. On the left, you can see the helicopter moving into position, and on the right, we have Electron's second stage travelling onto orbit.
Okay. No one is looking at second stage camera, I know. Everyone is just, oh, there you go. The SECO has happened. Primary mission is kind of successful
Stage 3
now.
separation confirmed. Normal transfer orbit.
And stage 3 separation
Here on the
confirmed.
screen there, the Rutherford engine on Electron stage 2 has successfully shut down, and stage 2 and the kick stage will have cleanly separated. The kick stage will now enter what we call a coasting phase while it's in an elliptical orbit before its Curie engine ignites and propels it into its sun synchronous orbit, where we will deploy the satellites. Now, on the left of your screen, you can see the views from that recovery helicopter. We have only a few minutes left in the capture window where that helicopter can safely recover Electron. Remember, catching a returning rocket stage mid-air is as it returns from space is as highly complex as it sounds, and it demands extreme precision. So several critical milestones must align perfectly to ensure a successful capture. We are on track to do that, but we are prepared with an ocean vessel nearby. And we've just had confirmation as well that the parachute is in sight of the pilot on that chopper. Exciting stuff. Hopefully we'll see it on our screens there soon too.
That's great to hear. I think there's some delay in the video feed. So just waiting in for the... just look out for the helicopter and try to find out that cute little Electron first stage booster.
We are all waiting on the edge of our seats here at our facilities. If this catch is a success, it marks an enormous milestone in our recovery program. Let's hope we can see that parachute in the frame of the camera soon.
Okay, the moment has come, guys. Finally. Just wait few seconds or minutes. I did see the Electron during the
We've
first
got various members
shots.
of our recovery team stationed at the drop zone back on land, out on the recovery vessel for support.
And I can see it
Here
again.
in MCC, they're in that crowd as you've
That's
seen
the
in some of our shots.
small
And of
shoot.
course, we have
Oh,
our
there you
pilot
go.
in the
There you
Pavel
go.
Sikorsky
That
S-92
the
helicopter in the sky over the Pacific,
we can see
ensuring
that
this is
now.
all going according to plan. Now you can see some of our recovery team members there. I don't think they could get any closer to that screen if they could. They are no doubt very anxious and waiting like
Okay,
we
this
all
one
are
is just
for this
the
capture attempt to go ahead.
the thread, or basically the not the thread, actually the rope which will capture the electron. So whatever you were saying, I was seeing this rope and I thought it was electron. Seemed like a far away thing, but yeah. Now since now it has been deployed, so it might be very close to the electron booster. Just waiting for the shots to happen. So now what will happen, let me just try to tell you that there are
It was
one
only
main
3 years
shoot.
ago, can you believe it, that we announced the recovery and reusability program, and here we are.
There is
today.
one main shoot and one drog shoot. Drog shoot has acts as a hook. Basically a wire for the drog shoot has acts as a, what should I say, a thing to capture via hook, so which you will see. Once that is captured by a hook on this rope, the parachute will close down, and yeah, obviously it will be that would be a successful catch.
Just very quickly, while I can, I want to point you to the right side of the screen that shows that the kick stage is on its elliptical path above the world and onward to orbit for our customers. And then, of course, again, we're all keeping our eyes on the left, that you can see the recovery helicopter in that zone moving in for the catch attempt. Hopefully, again, that we see that soon.
Tether, yes, the tether or the capture line, yes. So there are like a main shoot and a drogue shoot. The drogue shoot is not cut actually for this mission. The drogue shoot is still attached and it acts as a capture line for the hook. That's the actual sentence which I wanted to. Yeah. Waiting for those views to see. Let's see. We can see here. It would be interesting to see how the electron booster itself looks like, because it was shiny when it lifted off, and now is it again black, or what has happened to the booster? Because that would be interesting to see, but I don't think so we'll be able to see the
I don't know
booster
about all of
actually.
you viewing, but the longer I watch this line waiting for that parachute to come in. Oh,
Hey.
oh, there we go.
Oh,
We've
there
got our
you go.
first glimpse of it.
Electron. Wow. And we have okay. We have a catch. Let's see. We can't see the rope here. And they are celebrating. And they are literally celebrating. Just wanted some visual confirmations in here.
Absolutely incredible stuff there.
I think they have
successfully
captured.
caught that
There
electron
you
booster
go.
underneath the parachute. So that helicopter, confirming again, has hooked onto the drogue line and has captured electron. Just incredible. So
Okay,
now the
something
helicopter
has
will bring the
happened.
stage to land, where our engineers will analyze and determine if electron is suitable for reflight.
Something did happen that I didn't like that. Okay, and everyone is silent now. Okay, that did not sound like it. And the video feed is cut. Okay, that is not good. That's not good. Something. Okay.
Now we're going to take a bit of a break on the webcast, but we will be back with you closer to payload deployment for the primary mission to listen into those final moments from mission control. I'll see you back here soon.
Okay, I think they are good enough. I think they have captured it for just I think maybe just a normal shear, which we have assumed to be a moment. But yeah, so I think they have captured it, and yes, if they have, let me just confirm it first of all. It was a great capture, although we did not have some good views of it, but I am very much hopeful, and I can say definitely we'll get some views after the launch. Basically, after some time, they'll release some videos. So, nope, nothing as such. Still waiting in, but we did see those views of the Electron, and yes, it still looked shiny. Still looks shiny. Yes, everyone gasped. I must say that. Um, but they literally live streamed it. I am grateful to them because this was their first catch attempt when it was coming in from the orbit. So it's great that they did it. So yeah, Peter Beck actually said it. The catching is very much easier than the actual surviving it of the rocket. Survival of the rocket via when it re-enters the atmosphere, because it does not do any re-entry burn. It does not have any grid fins to have some more drag. Nothing like that. Just pure re-entry of any thing which re-enters over atmosphere. So yeah. So, but that my guess is that cord snapped. It is very highly unlikely if that snapped. Uh, Maybe could be just I don't think so though. If something bad has happened, my guess would be that. Okay, so they have updated us. The helicopter cache, stay tuned for more recovery details and the payload deployment in around 50 minutes. So they have a catch. So what was the that was a so people are commenting on them. So the post, the tweet. So what was the if they have actually caught the helicopter? Sorry, caught the Electron via helicopter. The night is taking over me now. It's 5 a.m. literally, and I haven't slept. And I have a good work tomorrow too. Yeah. They used the wrong line, was only rated for 100 LB boosters. No. Helicam was dumb, didn't see anything. Laura G says that was. See, I told you, don't expect things right away from first live stream. Since now you have seen that we did not get much views from those first stages. Um, so, next time you'll see a better placement of the camera. They thought it would be great because they have used it in the past and things look great there. See, what was missing for me today was the visual confirmation of the parachute closing. Okay, because I saw that the hook getting real close to the helicopter, the booster, but I didn't see the parachute closing. And if the parachute closes, that's the real catch. Yes, Max, agree. That's the main thing. We literally saw something going up to space and then coming down, re-entering the atmosphere, deploying the parachute, and then we are trying to grab it out of the thin air. And we'll first of all, I'm just wondering about that. Oh, that's it. Yes, exactly. If see, there are sometimes what happens is um, things are exposed on the rocket, right? Because it has re-entered the atmosphere. So maybe it is not structurally stable, or maybe things are exposed on the rocket, maybe the engine or engine bay or something like that, that they did not want to show. Because when they recovered the Electron stage, Peter Beck said that they intentionally did not post the engine view of the rocket, because it exposed certain parts of the rocket which was critical to the rocket, and yeah, the secrecy of the rocket engines. So might be that, but I don't think so that is the case. Just and immediately cutting the feed is a thing which I did not like, but they have confirmed it was a good helicopter catch. But if it wasn't, I don't know why would have they written on the Twitter. So it was a good helicopter catch. Something might have happened, anything, maybe a good catch, but what could have happened? It's the first time that we all are guessing here, right? After watching them land, this is anticlimactic. Hey KDR, if you have some doubts about my, what should I say, knowledge, you can just rewind the stream, okay, and have a look at what have I said in the initial part of the stream. I literally explained each and everything about the rocket, the launch, the recovery profile, even the payload and the science behind it. So you'll get some idea. It's okay if I am actually repeating things right now because many people have joined right now only. So kind of I'm repeating only those critical things which are meant to be you know meant to be known by people just joining in. That's why. Okay, so trying to find some updates on the mission here. Let me just have you thing is happening here. So let's just pull out the Twitter and see what is happening there. See, okay, this is also interesting, which we didn't see but was supposed to happen. I switch over to here and see it from here. So the thing which we didn't see was this one. See this, if they literally caught it, we would have seen this closing of the parachute, which I didn't see. And then finally this recovery, this was supposed to happen. This was the plan, the grabbing from the hook and closing of the parachute and the helicopter taking it to the recovery vessel. This was supposed to happen, but I don't think so that happened. See, so they did see, you can see here, helicopter catch, stay tuned for more recovery details and the payload deployments in around 50 minutes. What are the missing panels in the parachute for? Okay, that's interesting. Maybe just they are actually there. I think it's actually there to manage the closing of the parachute. I think it's on the side where the hook is. So when the parachute closes, the air also needs to go somewhere, right? So I think it escapes from there. That's why we have this one. So that's the answer for that. And what was that? Oh, everyone wants to know that, literally. So they have written this helicopter catch. So they wouldn't have tweeted it out if it wasn't a successful one. I still don't know what was that. Oh. Helicopter caught it, but the line snapped. It was not 100% recovery. I don't know. Maybe. Okay. So yeah, that was the thing which I wanted you to see. And yes, these gaps are there for releasing of that air when it closes. So you need, obviously, how would the air release if those gaps are not there? And one is the one of the reason is the air, other reason is the load also. You don't want your parachute to tear when it closes. So yeah, I don't exactly know the proper exact reason for it, but yes, these two are definitely the reasons, but don't know the other ones. Hey, so we have, yeah, they will resume it when payload deployment happens. Maybe the catch hook looks like it tore the chute. No, no. Oh, wildflower. That's a good observation. Yes, exactly. Those it ensures that it just does not, drop like a proper parachute kind of a thing, right? When a spacecraft uses a parachute, it just drops down below. When you have a holes in that direction, it uses that holes, uh, those holes for having a certain horizontal force. Yes, exactly. That might be the reason. Maybe it is used for gliding. Exactly. Now my perspective has changed. The main reason is the gliding. The other reason are those airflow and those things. So they initially used that parafoil for gliding. Here it did not. They did not use the parafoil. So instead they used this whole related parachute, which means they are literally trying to glide the canopy chute also. So it's an interesting design. Well, you are in rocket industry, and if you are not doing innovation, then why are you in the rocket industry, right? Space maniac Zach. Okay. Yes, that glide is actually what causing the chute to um the drogue chute to fly in that horizontal direction. So yes. Oh yes, and one more. Will yes, that BE4 update. We do have a BE4 update, guys. Finally, Blue Origin has released some updates regarding the BE4 engines, and this time it is actually very much interesting. Oh, they have actually okay. Just see this, guys. We have some images released from the Rocket Lab. There you go. This is the liftoff, and this one is interesting. Here we can see the Electron rocket. Uh, what should I say? We'll see here and here. So everything is looking good in here. So this is the actual tether, and then the rocket, then the chute, and this is the hook line. Here you can see this is the hook line. This is the parachute, and obviously those holes to make it glide, and drogue chute to have that horizontal direction. It's a very intuitive design, I must say that. And talking about the electron booster, it does look like a shiny piece of thing there, but obviously the thing which has been exposed to plasma is kind of black. So yeah, that's that. And other than that, don't think so it was any other thing. So yeah, still waiting for that proper update on what actually happened. Line snapped. I don't think so. If line did snap, I think there could be two reasons. If the line, I don't think so. Uh, I can't expect if this thing has snapped. This rope cannot be snapped because this is in total control of the ground team. I mean, yeah, obviously it can happen, but if it has happened, this one has snapped, then it's a big, 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 big. What should I say? A down thing for the Rocket Lab. But I can give them this one. If this one has snapped, it's okay, also all right, because they are first time attempting the orbital recovery of this booster, the mid-air recovery of this orbital booster, and maybe some re-entry of something, and those vibration, those heat might have done something with the ropes or whatnot. If it has snapped, not so sure, again telling you. What is this? Okay, let's just rewind our stream and see what actually happened, although it's in here, but let's see
onto orbit.
what actually happened in here.
I don't know about all of you viewing, but the longer I watch this line waiting for that parachute.
This came in here, and this should hook up in here, and it literally, yes, it did catch the booster, so that actually happened. So I can see that tether getting bent in here, so that actually happened. So helicopter catch definitely happened, but then it just flew away. Was not supposed to do that. People were cheering, and this thing, okay, they were pointing to this thing, and we have certain, okay, and then this happened.
Absolutely incredible stuff there. We have successfully caught that Electron booster underneath the parachute. So that helicopter, confirming again, has hooked onto the drogue line and has captured Electron. Just incredible. So now the helicopter will bring...
Not so sure about that. Oh, literally. Okay, that thing hanging, I don't know. Still total speculation. Can't say for sure what was. Okay. Oh, I did not change it. Okay. Yeah. I'll do it again. No worries. I'll do it again. You can see it, right? Yeah.
This moment. What you can see on your screen is the line from the helicopter with... Oh, there
So
we
this
go.
happened. You can see here.
First glimpse of it.
So that thing which was hanging was this belt, so it's all right. So here if you can see it properly, here you will see the tether being bent. Here you can see this thing, so it definitely did get stuck on the hook. So yes, that literally happened. Okay, come on, what happened?
The parachute to come in. Oh.
Here you can see that did happen, and but I didn't see it closing it properly. So and then it just flew away. So I think this cheer, when it got louder, I think it was the chute just closed there. And the screen also, here we didn't see any certain views of the rocket. And then this comes out of nowhere, but this is just the hanging
Incredible
rope.
Stuff there. We have successfully caught that Electron booster underneath the parachute. So that helicopter, confirming again, has hooked onto the drogue line and has captured Electron. Just
and then this all happened.
So now the helicopter will bring the stage to
just before that, we didn't have anything in here.
Confirming again, has hooked onto the drogue line and has captured Electron. Just incredible.
Don't
So
know
now
what
the
was that off. That O did not sound right for sure. Just looked like a missed close catch. No, they literally, you know, that hook literally was on the tether. So uh, that happened. So pilot did his job, helicopter did its job, and then if the line snapped or the parachute did not close, that's the other thing. But the helicopter and the pilot did their job correctly and perfectly. Michael, this is their first time they are doing this. Not only the first time they are filming this, but the first time they're actually trying to recover it from the booster coming from space. So not exactly space, but yeah, the booster which is coming after launching a certain payload. So uh, I am glad that we had something, at least something to see. So as the time progresses and you number of launches progresses, and I'm pretty sure in the next stream you will see certain improvement in the live stream there. So yeah, and guys, if you just liked, if you just loved what you just saw, smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, for certain great views and great launch coverages as always. And if you can, please become a member. It really helps me to pay my finances monthly, because as you know, April month was very dry on launches and was very dry for me too. So when the launches happen, then only I can have something. So those memberships are the only thing which I thrive upon, this channel thrive upon. So yeah, and the super chats are always enabled for one time. And there you go, the Space Maniac Zach, thank you so much for that 5, really appreciate it, man. Thank you for the awesome coverage as usual. Thank you for joining in and being a great audience. I'm still it's 5 a.m. here. It's 5 a.m. here and I have work tomorrow 8:30. I have to wake up. I'll just be sleeping in for like 1 hour or so now. We are T plus 39 minutes. At T plus 1 hour this mission will be over, so just waiting for that. 20 more minutes I can wait for that. See, I was thinking they might not be having a second helicopter just because of those issues of, don't want the second helicopter to have any interference with the helicopter catch, anything in that air strip. So, you know, I didn't expect the second helicopter to film it, but the recovery vessel might be very close, but obviously it was above the clouds. So don't expect much there. So yeah. Yes, Moonman, I'll check. I have already read it, so I'll do the reply. Don't worry. And guys, if you haven't already followed me on Twitter, that's a great excuse to do that right now. Hey, thank you so much, Jason, for that 4.99. Appreciate it, man. And thank you so much, Aman, for that 2.79. Would pay for my coffee. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Can't thank you all enough. It actually feels like you it's worth the wait, worth the sleep which I have given up now. Thank you all for supporting. Okay, so now since we have, okay, let me just see if we have any other update. nope, no update. So um yeah, no update here from the rocket lab as such, but just that helicopter catch which I just showed you. That's it. Thank you, Fly in the Bug. If you, it's you know, supports are really appreciated. But if you can't, it's all right. It's all right, man. Just be here. That is also good. If you can just be my audience and watch the live stream with me, that would also be great. Okay, so talking about the payloads, we have 34 payloads going to 550 kilometers on synchronous orbit, and man, that was one hell of a liftoff. From liftoff, engine ignition and lift to liftoff to stage separation, everything was phenomenal. And one of you guys saw in the chat mentioned about for one time I thought it's not lifting up because the liftoff was quite delayed. So that happens because these engines take some time to come up to its full thrust, and when it comes to its full thrust, then only those hold down clamps which are holding the rocket, they get released. That is the similar case happens with the Falcon 9 also, the Atlas. The solids one, they just you know lift off because obviously you can the solids just generate those thrust. They don't have those in starting engine, right? Engine starting thingy. So yeah, kick starting of the engine. So solids one just kick off, but other liquid fuel one, they take time uh, for it to come to full thrust, and when they do, they release the hold down clamps and the rocket lifts off. So that certain delay during the liftoff is normal, and that is quite significant in the launchers like Soyuz, which has the ignition happened at t minus 16 seconds. It takes around 16 seconds for the Soyuz engines to come to full thrust before it can lift off. So yeah, that's that. Something broke. Logical. Yeah. I mean, yes. That's what our speculation is suggesting right now about after all those events which has happened. But still, don't know. Regarding that FAA approval, man, this is taking a lot of time. But guys, don't hate on FAA, please, 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 don't hate on FAA. It's a you need to understand it's a government agency first of all. So those delays are associated with the government agency. First factor is that. The other factor is these things, but actually seriously, I'm talking about these things take time, and as the FAA report suggested that these um, um, the SpaceX has changed their parameters quite frequently. So the FAA also needs to then update their report, and these environmental surveys, environmental things literally take some time, and one thing changes, the whole report needs to be changed. So that's why it takes time. Hey, thank you so much, Moonman 4 from the Fly and the Eye. Yeah, for that 9.99. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, man. They should have said 6-month delay. See, they try to do it, but as they said, the SpaceX themselves are changing their parameters, and we saw those images flying around of the SpaceX booster in which the pipe was literally crushed during one of those operations. So the SpaceX, the Starship itself is still not ready fully to have an orbital launch, and that's why when the SpaceX is changing their Starship, so obviously the FAA needs to change their report, and they clearly mention in their report that the delay is because the SpaceX is constantly changing their parameters. So yeah, but May 31st. I'm not saying that May 31st is the day, because obviously I did not like that crushed pipe. So mm, I would say by the end of 2022, you can expect a launch. It's not only about FAA, it's about Starship also. Is Starship ready? Because we have seen the upper stage flown, but not the super heavy booster, and the super heavy booster packs the most amount of power, obviously. So the second stage, the upper stage Starship, is the cooler one. The super heavy booster does all the work and is more dangerous, right? So and we haven't seen that flying, so it will be the first time that it will be flying, so they need to be very um, prepared for every redundancy and everything. Yeah, you know those space shuttle missions uh, in which they did not even have a test flight of the space shuttle, and they directly put the crew on board with on their first test flight. Those type of missions have a certain approach. See, there are like two approaches to a mission, like a human space flight. um, and that could be related with the Starship also because of its huge size. So in human space flight, you have two approaches. One is you can go for redundancy, or you can test out you can just go out, test your spacecraft or your rocket, and then makes the necessary changes. Soyuz is made on that. Soyuz did its first uncrewed launch, right? Did all the parameter, tested everything, and then made the certain changes, if any, and then put the crew on board. But that did not happen with space shuttle. Space shuttle moved with the approach of redundancy. They made sure that the reliability of the rocket is huge. I mean, on the ground, the work is done like twice or thrice, making sure everything is all right, so that the crew can be on board on the first flight. Similar could be done with Starship, because Starship is such a huge rocket that uh, the super heavy, first of all, the super heavy is such a huge thing that you can't have a test flight for that. So if you are trying to have an orbital launch with the super heavy booster in its first flight, then you need to be sure that everything is in its place, in its proper place. Everything is like twice or thrice checked. Everything has twice or thrice redundancy. So those type of things are there. So yeah, it can take time. Not only about FA right now, it's about SpaceX too. SpaceX have done all their work on the Starship upper stage, but super heavy booster, we haven't seen that. We have seen, I think, some couple of static fires, but yeah, static fires were successful for the upper stage also. So but we haven't seen any hop from the super heavy. So yeah, that is a thing. Yes, we should have seen the payload deployment. Yes, Curie ignition is coming up, and then the payload separation will start happening. So yeah, it's an exciting time to be alive, I am pretty sure. And I'm telling you, this decade, this 2020 to 2030 decade will be a golden decade written in the space history for sure. Man is returning back to the moon. We have seen some incredible rockets being developed, not only from US like Starship and all, but also other countries. The China is doing some great work. India is also trying to have their human space flight on the go, and by this decade, you might see the the initiation of the Indian space station. So things are this decade is a very moving decade for space industry and rocket as a whole. So it's exciting time to be alive. And you never know. If you are like me, if you are a certain age like me, then you might also see not only the man going back to the moon, humans going back to the moon, but also humans going to the Mars. We never know. Beyond too. Okay, so we do have some updates from journalists regarding the boosters and all. So let me just make sure you can see that. So I think this one is the clears something up. Once I saw the shoot, I knew we had it. The pilot has never missed one yet. This one says the Peterback booster may be dropped in the water. So this has changed. Initially, the plan was to make sure it is dropped or not dropped. Basically, it is put down on the recovery vessel, but now it may be dropped in the water and then retrieved by the ship depending on the sea state. Back says the payload deployment in an hour. That is one thing. The other thing is that this one, wow, I can't believe we caught it. Back says we have now got to operationalize that. Seemed to work. It all just happened. Only about half of Electron launches will be able to accommodate the helicopter retrieval. Okay, so this is interesting. Half of Electron launches. So they might be doing that for half initially and then they go in for full swing, maybe. So yeah, that's one thing. The other thing which is interesting is this one. The booster still on the helicopter line, lots of confusion around it here. Uh, we'll probably drop it in the waters and then put it on the ship depending on the sea state, says Peterberg, adding that a dunk in the water shouldn't affect ability to reuse booster. We'll see what we end up doing. If it's just a dunk and then grab it, we're fine. So from the things here, which we can see, um, I think what has happened is the catch has happened, but the catch wasn't, not smooth, or the catch had some problems with it. Still attached with the helicopter, not in a state where it could be, uh, you know, put down on the recovery vessel. It could be, might be too risky. It's not, may not be in proper orientation or something like that. So they might just drop it on the water and then pick it up, because it would be much safer. So I think this confirms
Welcome back
it.
to the webcast of Rocket Lab's 26th
Okay.
Electron mission there and back again. If you're just joining us, today's launch included a successful liftoff at 10:49 a.m. New Zealand local time, or 22:49 UTC. After passing through Max Q, Electron completed a clean first and second stage separation. Now, of course, today's secondary mission objective was catching Electron's first stage booster with a helicopter. And if you are watching the mission, you will have seen earlier we witnessed a spectacular catch of Electron's first stage by our helicopter pilot. This is a monumental step forward in our program to make Electron a reusable launch vehicle. Now, after the catch, the helicopter pilot noticed different load characteristics than we've experienced in testing, which of course you do expect when testing anything in the field for the first time. At his discretion, the pilot offloaded the stage for a successful splashdown, where it is being recovered by our vessel for transport back to our factory. The stage is in great condition though, and we look forward to assessing it in detail when it's back here in the factory, and of course getting ready for more helicopter catches soon. Meanwhile, the kick stage has completed its first pass in an elliptical orbit of Earth, and we've had good ignition of its Curie engine to position the kick stage in Sun synchronous orbit, where we'll drop off the 34 satellites on board this rideshare mission for 6 customers. The deployments will happen in succession shortly after the Curie engine has shut down, so let's listen in.
Okay, so that confirms it, guys. So
Curie shut down. Nominal
Curie
circular
shut down.
rotation.
Okay, so there the helicopter recovery, there we got some updates here, as I said, in the Twitter also, and make sure you see that.
Brilliant. That is a good Curie shutdown confirmed there by Mission Control, so it is time to put some satellites on orbit. First up in today's deployment sequence are the spacecraft for eSpace. eSpace's payload consists of 3 demonstration satellites to validate the systems and technology for its sustainable satellite system. The satellites can automatically deorbit if any system malfunctions occur, keeping space nice and clean. We should hear confirmation of a successful deployment soon.
Yeah, so I was saying that the helicopter had some off, something off regarding the loads of the rocket. So the pilot decided to drop it off on the ocean floor itself and splash it down. So the thing which they said like, oh, that happened, was this only. The pilot, when he dropped the stage, everyone thought the cable snapped or something like that, but it was intentional. So things are great on that perspective.
There you go. Payload deployment is successful for eSpace. We hope you enjoyed the ride. Up next for deployment from Electron's kick stage, we have some Space Bees from Internet of... And there they go. Payload deployment for Swarm successful there from the kick stage. So next we will have the
Whoa.
6 satellite for our friends at Unseenlabs. This is the 6th in its constellation and the 3rd launch
That
Rocket
was
Lab
such a
has
cool
provided for
deployment.
Unseenlabs to expand it. Let's listen in for that confirmation.
Bro 6 deployment successful.
That's what we like to hear. Bro 6 has successfully separated from the kick stage. We're now almost at the halfway point of today's deployments. Now we are listening out for the call that Aurora Sat-1 has been deployed. This satellite is also known as the Flying Object, which, while it sounds mysterious, will be doing the good deed of demonstrating space junk removal technologies for small satellites, including propulsion devices and plasma brakes that enable the sustainable use of space.
Yes, Safir Koha, we do have some update on the recovery that the pilot actually observed
Aurora Sat-1 deployment successful.
something off with the loads of the rocket, so he decided
And there
to
we have
drop it off on the
another
ocean.
payload successfully in orbit. The next deployment is for a second stack of Space Bees satellites for Swarm. We'll give the flying object a bit of space first, but we should hear the call for successful deployment of the Space Bees any moment.
Second group of Space Bees released successfully.
You heard it there. The Space Bees have separated from
They're
the kick stage.
literally bees
That leaves us with just
out
2
there.
payloads to go. Up next, we have the 4 Pico satellite payloads for one of our returning customers, Alba Orbital. We've got Alba's own Unicorn 2 Pocket Cube satellite, along with the TRSI 2 and 3, and a MyRadar 1, all from MyRadar. We are thrilled to provide the Alba team with a ride to space once again.
Alba Cluster X deployed successfully.
And that's Mission Control confirming that the Alba Orbital payload has been successfully deployed. So we are down to the final remaining payload for this mission, the Copia spacecraft for Astrix. Now this final payload is a little unique in that it remains attached to the kick stage to conduct its technology demonstration, testing inflatable solar power generation technology. This deployment won't happen for another 15 minutes or so, but we'll keep you posted via social media, so keep an eye out there. So with that, I am delighted to confirm mission success for today's launch. Thank you, as always, to our fantastic mission partners. It is an honor and a privilege to deliver your spacecraft to orbit. Thank you to our incredible team who made today's mission possible. And a huge congratulations again to our recovery team for another step forward in the recovery program today. To find out more about what's next in that program and to stay up to date on upcoming missions, follow us across our social media platforms. So thank you again for joining us for this webcast. We'll see you back here soon for our next launch, taking us a bit further than usual, coming up very soon. This is Rocket Lab Mission Control, signing off.
Hey, so there you go, guys. We have some updates, and seems like everything was successful. Just some, anomaly during the loads during the catch, so he decided to drop it off in the ocean itself. So, but the mission was successful. The recovery is also successful. Those loads can be just adjusted according to how the things will change. But the catch was there. Things went smoothly, and yes, finally we saw certain a new type of recovery of the rockets. We have seen the engine, basically recovery of the um, first stage using the propulsion engines, basically from the SpaceX Falcon 9. We have now seen the mid-air catch of the Rocket Lab booster, and now only thing which is left to be seen is the smart reusability from the ULA, which involves basically just jettisoning the engines out there and then deploying the inflatable heat shield and then recovering them. So that is also interesting. So they all have their different sort of recovery methods. And yes, thank you so much for joining in. It's 5:30 a.m. and I'm a bit sleepy out here, so might not be able to continue anymore. Thank you so much all for joining in. And yes, the update is that they did catch it and decided to drop it off in the ocean because there was some anomaly of during the of the loads rating. So thank you all for tuning in, and we'll meet again. And hopefully this time I'll meet you again with the Chinese launch of the uh, Tianzhou mission. Yes, that is what it is lined up. I'll try to figure out if I can get some you know videos out of or stream out of those things so that I can show it to you. But yeah, thank you all for joining in, guys. Thank you so much. And yes, I appreciate all your support. And now I'm going on. See you again. Until then, this is Pian Shoroila. You just saw Rocket Gyan. Stay safe, stay healthy, and bye bye.